Our culture rewards overwork and it calls it normal. We've been trained to believe that exhaustion or feeling stressed is the proof that we're valuable, that we're doing work. That the more we give, the more stressed out we are, the more valuable it is and the more you're worth. I see this all the time when I go on vacation. I come home to a pile of work, a pile of projects, a pile of open things that I feel guilty for not getting to. And the thought in my head is go, do more. You have the wisdom to change lives. The problem is you're close to maxing out, giving all your time to others with burnout in your future. I'm here to help you design an income stream that truly leverages your wisdom. It starts when you stop chasing a full schedule and start scaling that wisdom into income without a ceiling. Now is the time to create more impact, more income, and more independence. I'm James Marland, income stream consultant, and this is the Scaling Therapist Podcast. Hello, this is James Marland, host of the Scaling Therapist Podcast. Today we're going to talk about something that happens in the life of every service provider. That's something you're going to have to deal with. And there's no crash, there's no lightning bolt. There's nothing that really signifies that it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. It'll be like a quiet Tuesday morning, and you open your calendar and you look at the rest of the week and you realize, with this sinking feeling in your chest that you've double booked yourself. You're going to miss some sort of family event or community event. Like it's a sports game or a recital, or the family vacation starts with getting back to client emails instead of, going to the beach. It could be a phone call from your parents asking for help and realizing you're not available, or the only available spot costs you income. And you tell yourself, well, I'm just a busy person. But if every day is busy, if every month is busy, if every moment of your life is taken up, it's not just a busy season. It's a busy way of life. It's a busy system. And that system that you're involved in serving your clients and earning your income, it was never built to sustain or support your life. Somewhere along the way, just working hard became a virtue or a way of doing things, or what everybody does to get by. We try to max out our schedule. And somewhere rest became a luxury or something we plan around, something that it isn't really rest, because when you're trading all your time for income, you either have to maximize before the rest or maximize after the rest, and you're worrying about it the whole time. Somewhere, your goal to serve people, finish college, start a family, build a business, do something that mattered, somewhere along the way, the goal quietly became, I got to work to pay the bills. Or there's some fear in there, I got to work because I might not always have this work in the future. One of my favorite authors recently, Benjamin Hardy, he wrote The Science of Scaling. He says, what you aim for shapes who you become. When you lower your sights, you are unconsciously designing a life that keeps you small. You're unconsciously designing a life that keeps you small. We weren't meant to live in these systems that are designed to keep us just on the brink of burnout. We're designed to have purpose, and that purpose brings us joy. The subtle thing that happens to all business owners, if you're not careful, if you're not doing it intentionally, is the business begins to run your life. The business becomes your life instead of freeing you to live your best life. So here's the question I want you to sit with today. Where are you headed? Where's your goal? And when you get there, will you be elated or bitterly disappointed? Because if your goal is to have the fullest schedule possible, to maximize your income, to fill up every moment with service, just so you can feel successful, or just so you can tamp down that fear in your head, then then the business is running your life. To me, that's not success. Our culture rewards overwork and it calls it normal. We've been trained to believe that exhaustion or feeling stressed is the proof that we're valuable, that we're doing work. That the more we give, the more stressed out we are, the more valuable it is, and the more you're worth. I see this all the time when I go on vacation. When I come home from vacation, I come home to a pile of work, a pile of projects, a pile of open things that I feel guilty for not getting to. And the thought in my head is go, do more. And it takes away the fun of going on vacation. I worry about it when I'm away. I can't just be in the moment. Your calendar might look polished, color-coded, impressive, but it could be the thing that is keeping you from living the life that you want to live. Overwork, like the full calendar is just, it's invisible damage. It makes you feel good, and it's great to be disciplined, and it's great to have it's great to have reliable income. But if filling up every moment is the goal, then it's really invisible damage. Like you're giving away something when your life is so full. And if you're like me, and if you when you finally try to rest and you feel guilty, that's where the thoughts come in, like you're lazy, or you're not as good as other people, and it's insidious. You're not lazy. It's actually proof that you've been trained by the culture, trained by the system to think and act in a certain way. You're not even aware of it. And so my nudge here is for you to stop measuring your worth by like how full your calendar is, but to measure it about how sustained you feel. This reminds me of a story. I'm going to kind of get the punchline a little bit wrong, but bear with me. There was a businessman, and he went down to South American island and saw some guy, a fisherman, sitting at the bar, sitting at the place where they get drinks. And he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he says, "Well, I fish." And the guy said, "Oh, wow, this is a great area for fish. How do you do it?" And he's like, "I go out in the morning, I fish for an hour, then I come back and I hang out on the beach and chat with my friends and have coffee and, spend some time in the sun." And the guy's like, "Man, what if you got a second boat and hired, more people? Then you could earn twice as much money. And then when you start earning that money, maybe you buy a delivery truck that you can take it further upland. And then when you get more money, you could buy a cannery, and more boats and work there. And then, you could earn millions of dollars." And the fisherman was like, "Oh, what could I do then?" And he said, "Well, then you could retire to the beach and have all your free time." And the fisherman blinked his eyes and he's like, "I got that now." And I was just like, oh my word, what a story. Because, you could chase something and miss what is right in front of you. And sometimes, I get it. I chase money. I chase that sense of that I'm accomplishing things, but I might be missing the life that now, like I could have the life now if I put my priorities in another place. And the business guy might have thought that the fisherman was lazy. He wasn't really lazy. He was just living his best life. So let's be aware that the system is not always your friend. We need to shift from striving and working and maxing out every moment to sustainable. Shift from striving to sustainable. So once we see the system for what it is, that it's trying to max you out and then burn you out, what do we do instead? Well, it's not necessarily about doing more or doing things like adding more. It's about alignment. It's about building rhythms that speak or honor both your mission and your humanity. You're building a business that serves your life, not building your life around your business. So, how you want impact, it's not just filling every moment with clients. You need space. I just came out of camping season, and when I talk about space, like I think about logs on the campfire, and if you separate the logs too far apart, they don't support each other and they don't burn. But if you pack them on top of each other, there's no air for them to breathe and they don't burn as well. You have to stack them with just enough space so that they get air and fuel. And that's the same way for your business. Your business needs air and fuel. It can't just have clients stacked on top of one another, and it can't just have, one-off projects. You have to have some sort of rhythm that supports each other. So yeah, you do need to block off that time for family dinners. You do need to have priorities for your life. And it could be designing offers from your wisdom, designing products that you can sell that don't always take your time, that don't always mean that you are in the therapist chair sharing your wisdom. There's other ways to do it. You teach what you already know. So this could be a handout, a worksheet, a template, a skill or a technique that you use, relaxing, something to deal with anxiety, journaling prompts. It could be a little more complex, like a mini course or some videos or some social media things that bring people in to you that you can use to scale your time so that you're not always in front of people doing one-on-one service. These activities use your wisdom, but change it in such a way that you're able to, it's the system doing the work, not you carrying every bucket. I want to bring it back to why you built a business in the first place. I think you probably started for some reason, yes, to make an income, but you really wanted some freedom. You wanted some way to express yourself and earn an income and be independent. You wanted to be present. You had a mission. You wanted to live and serve people. But somewhere along the way, that got replaced with flexibility and availability, but your business quietly filled every open space. Instead of the business bringing you freedom, it brought you, like it chained you to the work. This isn't about working less. It's about working aligned with your values, creating margin and space for those family activities, the longer breakfast, the walk. This isn't laziness. Margin isn't laziness. It's actually the oxygen for creating longevity. I want you to hold on to this. Your business should fund your life, not feed on it. Let me say that again. Your business should fund your life, not feed on it. 5 years from now, you're going to look back at this moment and you're either going to whisper, I am so glad I started reclaiming the business for my life. Or you're going to start thinking, I wish I would have started back then, creating some space and margin, some oxygen for my life. Now, you don't need to change everything right now. You don't, sometimes just being aware and naming things and tracking what you're doing that can have a huge impact on your behavior. Just take one small, deliberate step towards a life that creates you margin, towards a business that gives you your freedom back. Start saying no to some of the things that steal your peace. Maybe it's just protecting one afternoon a week for what really matters. Or you put an appointment in your calendar book that's like family time and you treat it like a client. Not that they're your clients, but you wouldn't miss a client session. So maybe that's what you need to do. Put a marker in your calendar and say, this is for that time, and honor it. Honor it for what matters. Honor it. Like, if you don't do it for yourself, do it for the people that matter, and do it for your future self who will thank you later. The world just wants you to grind away, but hustle is not always the answer. Hustle actually could be the thing that's keeping you trapped. It could be keeping you from enjoying your business. Your work is important. It really is. What you do and how you help people is very important, but it's not worth trading your future joy for. If this conversation hit close to home, I host a Beyond Fully Booked workshop regularly, and this is for therapists, coaches, and mission-minded professionals who are ready to take small steps to start building what works for their life and not against it. Join the waitlist for the link in the show notes, or just message me or James at coursecreationstudio.com and use the word next, and I'll send you the next link. Your clients need you, your family needs you, your future self is counting on you. It's now time to start building the business that supports your life.